Welcome back to another LKB video. Again, we're back here with the reactions, LKB reacts and all that. Today I've just literally stumbled up across this one on the Twitch. If you do want to see me play live, react live, all that stuff, go over to twitch.tv/LKB_OS. And yeah, we're going to be reacting to What Makes CGI Bad by Y Reviews. I will leave it in the description as always. If there's any clips of this, you've probably already seen them on the Shorts or TikTok. But yeah, let's get straight into it. What makes CGI bad? Let's go.
Superman's mouth, Doctor Strange's eye, MODOK's floating head, Axel's floating head, exploding Elena, ice skating Flash, and Black Adam looking like a thumb. What do all these shots have in common? They're universally ridiculed for having terrible visual effects and CGI.
Right, I'm not gonna lie, some of the films I've watched and the CGI is terrible. I'm not gonna lie, bro. It kind of like ruins the immersion for a little bit, but most of the time I just find it funny. I don't even like look into it that much, to be honest. But I think there's people out there that really look into it.
In this video, let's look at some of the
most I remember that one.
Marvel movies and analyze exactly why they stuck out so much.
See, I don't know if they're gonna have the Sonic thing here. It doesn't look like they are going to. I've seen all of these films, but this one. I know the Sonic people had to change his eyes because of the backlash.
The age-old question: what makes CGI bad? First, let's start with Superman's mouth. To this day,
oh, I was watching a film recently. Oh, what is the name of the film? I was watching a film. Oh, I can't remember the name of the film, but like in the film they changed. Like, they used the same, like, thing, but they changed what the guy said. Like, they made him say something else, and they added it in. It was so trippy. I can't remember the film. Oh, I can't remember the film. I think it was a new film with, that Alan Richardson and the Paul Blart guy. I can't remember.
At the very start of the movie,
Has the best CGI? I don't know what that is.
But when DC wanted him back for reshoots, he couldn't shave off his mustache because Mission Impossible Fallout wouldn't let him. So DC had the impossible task of recreating the entire lower half of his face. Compared to this, creating a supervillain like Steppenwolf is easy since he's already fully CG. It's also straightforward to create a living, breathing CG human.
Rest in peace, Paul Walker.
The top half of something with the bottom half of something else, you're gonna run into problems because human faces are the one thing each and every one of us sees on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not looking at Henry Cavill every day, but a quick image search brings up all these pictures, and right away, you can see that he has this huge smile. But here, they never let him smile all the way. He rests in this in-between place.
Oh, that does look weird.
Freaking us out, honestly.
I've watched this film, like, I'm not gonna lie, I've never really paid attention.
Let me bring one frame into Photoshop.
To be fair, you can tell by the different color of skin.
Sharpening it a bit, upping the contrast, and shifting the colors. Even though the lip shape still isn't right, already it looks a little more integrated.
Yeah, it looks more natural.
Slip through the cracks and end up on IMAX screens all over the world? Well, poor planning, a rush deadline, and DC biting off way more than they could chew. Now on to 2021's Black Widow.
Bro, I think the flawless CGI, no lie, it comes down to these companies just not wanting to pay for like the good artists anymore. Like, if you look at like the early 2010s, some of them like CGIs and all that stuff looked so good. Like the Hulk, for example, was so good, and it just got worse. Like, I don't understand. They're just not paying for the good people anymore.
It's a bold move, making an entire movie about a character who already died in another movie 2 years earlier. Is bold the right word? But the one shining light
That's Marvel.
is a fun new addition of Yelena Belova.
This film was okay.
When she wasn't talking about
I didn't mind the film.
She was spunky, sassy, and stopped the
spunky
with the ultimate self.
What the hell? What is he talking about? Spunky.
Now this can be broken down into two parts.
Well, she's a human, so she's dead, right?
First is the
no, she's not.
Obvious blue screen. It's great when you have a physical set to shoot on that the actors can jump around in. But when a location is just too far, too expensive, or too fantastical, we need green and blue screen to create that vision. So what went wrong with these shots?
Yeah, it just doesn't look real.
The background is a blue cloudy sky. There's some black smoke, Yelena on top of that, some embers floating by, and finally, more black smoke on top of everything. And it's that final layer of smoke in the foreground that ruins the shot. It only reads on screen over Yelena, so she just turns super dark and muddy, and it leaves behind an obvious edge that looks unnatural. You might say, come on, no one's zooming in that close. But watch what happens when I shrink the shot down. It looks even more cut out. The second part of all this is the idea that a person can just peacefully blow away like a Forrest Gump feather from a raging explosion. This is what should have happened to her. Am I right? Of course, I've never stood next to a blazing inferno. Couldn't tell you exactly what would happen to me.
Yeah,
But
would
what
it?
this shot does is to remind you how there's zero stakes. How
Yeah.
Marvel wanted her alive just to plug her into
Yeah, that is kind of wild. Surely, like, if that fucking actually blew up, wouldn't she have just... She probably would have gone in that direction, but not together. Like, she would have blown up in bits. Because she's a human.
Disney Plus show. Called it. And speaking of things that didn't matter,
Yeah, I
let's
think
get into
Disney's
Doctor Strange's
kind of killing it.
third eye.
I remember this, bro.
Ooh, for the life of me, I'll never understand why Marvel did this. Set up a cliffhanger in the mid-credit scene, just to resolve it in the post-credit scene. But I will admit,
Like, what is that?
is probably the least offensive on this list.
It looks so shit.
Because on a technical level, it works. If you were to pop,
And that corny ass makeup just makes it feel like it's like... This is some like early 2000s CGI, bro, and like superhero film. You know those like children's superhero films where they have this corny makeup? It's so corny, bro.
at any point and zoom into the eye itself, it looks identical in color and sharpness to the other two right under it. As he ducks out towards the end, the motion blur matches on every frame. The eye is on his face in a way Superman's upper lip never could. Sure, there's no eyebrow, which is the main thing throwing me off. Would it look better with an eyebrow? Oh, kind of. It makes me think of Fallout when we meet this guy for the first time, who, due to random mutations throughout hundreds of years, ends up with one eye. To see the process they went through to make this visual effect work,
That actually
they
looks
approached it technically in
That
all
looks
the right ways.
pretty
And
good,
as
though.
viewers, we need to be open-minded.
I think that's what he
enough to
means.
There's a difference between bad CGI and CGI that just didn't work for me. After all, it's a comic book movie. People flying everywhere, giant monsters running around, and a little eye on a forehead gets you mad. So is this bad
If
CGI?
it just looks...
Not really.
It just
Does
looks
take a little time to
off.
get used to? Yes, absolutely. But after Multiverse of Madness, the piggies were eating good because Love and Thunder released just 2 months later.
Crazy.
The one thing people
To be fair,
constantly
these
keep
VFX artists are getting overworked, bro. I remember this whole film, like the CGI, just looked weird. Like, it actually just looked weird the whole time. Like, it just feels like the whole film was CGI, and they stuck some actors in there every now and then for like the fun of it.
Sorry to do that to you. I know we all still have GTSD. The one thing that people brought up as the worst example of CGI throughout the whole film happened here.
Astrid, are you okay?
I no longer go by the name Astrid.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
known as Axel.
If you were lucky enough
Bro, you can see he's reading off a script as well. Like, see, that's the tough part, bro. Like, it's a kid in it that's acting, but like, he's gonna get hated on no matter what. Especially by these Marvel, like, in quotations, nerds. Poor kid's gonna get a load of hate.
to watch this movie in theaters, you might have caught Marvel's first attempt at this effect. But as they often do, they redid the CGI for DVDs and Disney Plus. If you compare the two, you'll see that with months to fix it, all they did was add a smudged out yellow aura around him and crank up the chromatic aberration. For those of you unaware, chromatic
still don't look
aberration
great.
is what happens when a camera lens can't focus all colors of light to the same point, resulting in areas of an image where we see red, green, or blue outlines. In almost every visual effect throughout comic book movies and TV shows, you'll always see it in some way or another, and in small doses. It works, but when it's pretty much the only thing they rely on, that's where things fall flat. And the fact that this entire effect exists simply to have this back and forth about the name Axel.
Axel.
Astrid.
Axel.
Astrid.
Axel.
You got time for this? Aren't you locked up in a cage? In space? How are you all breathing, by the way? The shame here lies in how great Love and Thunder could have been. Like for the shadow monsters on the black and white planet, did you know they had kids draw what scared them? And then the CG team recreated lifelike versions of them? I'd watch an entire movie just about these guys. There were good ideas being thrown around.
Bro, that Christian Bale's character could have been so good. The film wasn't bad. Like, Bale did like a really good job, but it had so much potential. But like, they just made it like a weird, like, the comedy part of it was just not needed, bro. Like, it could have been a bit more serious. They had to like put little like jokes.
But a few
Just not
shots
great.
could have
Not
used a
great.
little more time on the level.
Not great at all.
Maybe floating heads were never meant to look right. Now let's check in with Black Adam. As the bad guys are getting away,
You know what?
he flies up to catch
This
them,
film gets hella hate, but I like this film, bro.
resulting in this.
I thought this was good. This was good,
I
but
always think of Casper. would go home and use
it
a
could
wire
look a
to
little.
scratch his nose.
It does look a little weird, but I think it looks good, bro. It's not as bad as the
The
others.
problem here is that the whole movie is trying to sell you on the idea that Black Adam is bigger than life. His backstory, his introduction.
I do like the sense of speed that this film gave when he was flying. Like, it gave you a really good feeling when he was actually flying. Like, look at how cool that looks.
Pointed the camera straight at the Rock's face. It made him look a little less imposing. And if that wasn't bad enough, he's also changing the focal length, warping the perspective, and emphasizing the disconnect between head and body. You can imagine they really wanted this to be a badass moment, but unfortunately, it had the
Yeah.
opposite effect. And then he catches up, smashes the hoverbike, plummets into a field, totally unbothered by the way. Oh my god, Mr. Dwayne Johnson, you are so cool. And gets
Well, I mean, it's Black Adam, innit?
I mean,
But like,
not even a little dirty or wet. After being dragged through a rice paddy, we the audience end up feeling more distant than ever. to the
you know what?
anti-hero
I never
versus
even
the
realized that.
and so, in a movie meant to change the hierarchy of power in the DC universe, we were left with this. An everlasting image.
Yeah, I
of the
remember.
hubris
The memes
of
off of this were
an
absolutely
early
unreal.
venture into the
Whoa!
past. I had high hopes for this movie. Remember
What is this? I haven't watched this yet.
King voiceover
I
where he
can't. I
talks
want to
to
watch this
Scott
film, see if it's any
last
good.
time?
But
That didn't happen. The series tone making you think someone was gonna die? That didn't happen. But the biggest disappointment was how they handled my boy MODOK. It's hard to say exactly what would have been the right approach to a giant floating head, but what they tried here didn't exactly work. Their first mistake
that looks so
was going
dumb.
fully CG.
Oh.
The actor for Darren Cross, Corey Stoll, was there. He was physically on set. Instead of
Oh,
shooting
it
those
just
scenes
looks
with a
off.
cutout, then trying to use facial capture to graft his performance onto a CGI face. They could have had him do his scenes next to the other characters on set. Then they could have cut out his head, blew it up, and then add all the CGI on top of that. Still would have looked horrible, but at least this would have been someone the audience was familiar with, instead of this weirdo. By making him fully
Yeah,
CG and squashing his facial features down, occasionally forgetting to animate him, but we'll let that slide. We were left with an unrecognizable monstrosity that was hard to connect with.
That looks so weird, bro.
Probably what they wanted MODOK to be. But by filming the actual actor, it might have been a little less of a distraction. And in a movie with quite a lot of distractions, that would have been great.
I need to see this film to rate it
Let's talk
fully.
about 2023,
This
The Flash.
this film was okay.
Bringing this movie up,
I didn't mind the
because
film.
what's
I know the
promising
actor
now
gets a lot of stick for the right reasons. But it's they never get the Flash running right, bro. I feel like the Flash, like every time you see this guy running, it just doesn't look like he's running fast. It looks like he's moving, like sliding.
hated for its double-buried deepfakes, the cartoony-looking babies,
Yeah.
and CG recreations of actors they could have just shot anyway. I thought there was a great underlying story there about guilt, regret, and making peace.
The only story you ever see about Flash is
But
Flashpoint,
people don't seem to
by the
remember
way.
any of that. What they do remember, though,
Every single Flash film that's out there or show talks about Flashpoint.
So let's go into the many
It's the
reasons.
easiest story to do with
First
Flash.
is the jarring transition of going from a fidgety, and I mean fidgety Barry Allen, to a robotically smooth CG model. I've seen behind-the-scenes footage of how he actually ran on set.
Yeah, that's
Look at
just
the subtle, jerky ways his arms move around. But completely replacing all of that with this just shows it for what it is.
like why does he run like this though? I'll never understand what's with all this extra stuff. Just make him sprint, make him look like he's actually moving fast. Like this it just doesn't look like he's supposed to be moving make him fucking speed, bro. Make him fly through the screen like Usain Bolt type pace. He doesn't look fast. He just looks like an idiot. Fix this, please. We need like a fast Flash.
Just look at all the
Ah.
in these shots. Nowhere to be found here. It's a problem the CW show struggled with too.
Yes.
Spider-Man games.
Also, I loved the CW show when I was like younger. You know, obviously going back to it now is a bit corny because I think it's made for teenagers type stuff. When I was a teenager, I liked that. But I'm not gonna lie, bro. The way they do the running, all like bro, that's not how.
Vanish. I get that
It's just-
time-consuming to
it's
build
just
a
not good, bro.
populated city,
It-
but just find a few hundred colorful blobs here and there.
It's like the people who are telling them what to do just don't know how to sprint.
Now let's take a look at frames like this, and this. Notice how the glow from his lightning onto the ground is completely smooth? Right before he took off, look at how the cracks in the pavement still show up.
You're like,
Planted in
why does it
frames,
stretch?
making a connection for these white
Just make him fucking
It makes the CG city
like his legs are
even
fucking
more
moving.
than it already is. And as far as his feet gliding across the ground, Well, it was either that or this. They did have this shot later in the movie that explains how
I think the CW there did it alright because his legs were moving fast as hell, which they would be, and he was flying across the screen. It's just the CG was obviously like cheaper, you know, so it didn't look as good.
feet end up gliding. But by then, the damage was done, and this one shot became the lasting image
Yeah.
of the whole movie. Look, realistic CGI is incredibly hard to achieve. There's a reason the credits after every comic book movie are a million miles long. For every teeny tiny name you're not even
Yeah.
looking at because you want to check
Wow.
Instagram while you're waiting for the mid-credit scene.
Marvel has got really good VFX, but the only problem with Marvel of recent, they've just rushed it and not let people work, and I think they've cheaped out on some of the VFX as well, which ruins. And like they try to do a lot of shortcuts to get things out faster, which ruins how good the actual film may or may not be.
Who spent days,
So it's just one of those
and
things.
months on a single shot. So with this much time and care put
The
into
Spider-Man
it,
film was good
you'd
though.
think that bad CGI
No Way
would
From
be
Home, I
really
thought that was
good.
really good.
But with
I like
audience
this film.
demands getting higher and movie studios paying lower, they can
Yeah.
and they probably will for a long time to come.
They need to
Our
fix
reason
this.
is to better understand what makes
They need to
CGI
fix
work,
this
but maybe with a
ASAP.
bit more compassion for the artists behind the pixels.
Anyways, that was a really good video again. I'll have it all in the description. Go sub up to this guy. Sub up to this channel too if you like the reactions and the Battlefield videos. Any sort of video I put out really. And yeah, it's been your boy LKB. Hit that sub button, the like button, and comment down if you have any videos you'd want me to watch. And I will most likely get down to reacting to it at some point.